All right, let's take a look at this Number Talks protocol or routine, whatever you want to call it. But this is a 5-day process, the way I have it set up or the way I'm going to describe it. And here's a description of how to do these 5 days, which I'll go into detail. And also just know that over here is a link to the different strategies that your kids can be working on when you choose certain problems. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick some kind of a strategy for your students to work through. Say doubles plus or minus 2, or in this case, we're going to do subtraction by bridging 10. And all 5 of the days are focused around that strategy. Just keep in mind that there's multiple ways to do these problems, but we kind of give each one of them like a title. So these are subtraction by bridging 10, but there are different ways you can solve these problems. All right. Day 1, 2, and 3 are all the same. I'm going to have a word problem. Now, give kids a word problem or a story problem that allows them to have the context and visualize what's going on here. If you just did 14 minus 8, that is fairly abstract. So I like a word problem in these situations. And you're going to give kids 1 minute of think time. All right, we have Dan baked some brownies and there were some left over. How many did he sell? You're going to give kids 1 minute of quiet think time to come up with both the solution and also a strategy on how they solve the problem. They can't just say, oh, I know it. They have to have a strategy. And when they do that, do some kind of a gesture like a thumbs up at their chest to say, hey, I'm ready to go. And after that 1 minute is up, just invite students to share their thinking. And you as the teacher, you're just going to record the strategy they used. And if you can, give it some kind of a meaningful name. And all of these days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get to the point where they should take less than 10 minutes to work through, okay? You might only list 4 strategies for day 1, and that's perfectly fine because on day 2, you're going to do the very similar problem, and maybe on day 2, you get 5 or 6 strategies, all right? Day 3 is going to be the same as days 1, 2, and 3. As days 1 and 2. And then at day 4, the problem we run into with days 1 through 3 is that we don't really have student accountability. We might only get 5 or 6 kids to participate. So on day 4, we're going to pose another story problem or word problem, and we're going to put kids into pairs. All right, this is a great place to use visual random grouping. Randomly pair your kids up, and what they will do is they will try and list every possible strategy another kid might use on how to solve that problem. All right, so they're thinking about different strategies, and you could even have them talk about which ones are efficient and maybe which ones are inefficient. And then when you get to day 5, this is where you're going to put a variety of problems on the board. This is called like speed dating or speed networking or speed mathing, whatever you want to call it. But your students are going to pick one of these 4 problems, give them 1 minute of think time. They're going to come up with a solution and a strategy. And then you're going to pair them up. Once again, do these random pairings. Pair them up, and one student's going to explain their problem and how they solved it, and the other kid's going to then explain their problem and how they solved it. And then they move on to new partners. When they move on to new partners, they keep the same problem and they explain it again. And then they can go on to new partners again and explain it again. And hopefully every time they explain it, they get clearer and faster in their explanation.